New this morning, the U.S. Forest Service is to blame for the largest wildfire in New Mexico's history. The Forest Service started a prescribed burn in the Santa Fe National Forest in early April. But a new report finds the agency relied on poor weather data and failed to understand how climate change had dried out the landscape. The Calf Canyon Hermits Creek fire began as two and then combined into one massive fire, burning more than 341,000 acres as of Tuesday afternoon. This is just one of 38 active fires, according to the National Interagency Fire Center. Within the last 48 hours, NIFC confirmed 5 new large wildfires, 3 in Alaska, 1 in Florida, and 1 in North Carolina. Right now, Colorado has 1. It's the Black Hills Fire, about 30 miles south of La Junta. That one's about 49% contained. And good news for federal wildland firefighters. They're getting a raise, at least a temporary one.
Yeah, Corey, the president made the announcement this morning calling that raise back pay.
Yep, he said that the bi-weekly checks will increase for 2 years by up to 50% of their annual base salary. That fund will be drawn from the bipartisan infrastructure law. The president said he'll continue to work with Congress to secure long-term funding for federal firefighters.
There are dozens of recommendations being made to improve emergency response as a result of the Marshall Fire. One is already in action. A Vista Hospital in Louisville survived the fire but had to close for weeks because of smoke damage. After that, Centura hospitals across the country have changed their protocols, including buying new filters to install during fires. It helps make sure that the smoke can't get into the building. Penrose Hospital in Colorado Springs is already using it.
The charcoal filter gets rid of any big particulates in the air, and it also mitigates the smell.
Yeah, carbon filters were not something that are a normal stocked item, but it is something now that all of the facilities will be having on hand for those instances.
Emergency managers at Centura Hospital also now listen to emergency radios constantly, especially on red flag days.
2 memorials for 2 men killed a year ago in Old Town, Arvada. This morning, heartfelt messages and memories are still coming in about Officer Gordon Beasley and Good Samaritan Johnny Hurley. Now, news reporter Darius Johnson joins us live in studio this morning with what's being said about these 2 men.
Hey there, Corey. Dozens gathered at 2 different memorials to honor 2 men who were loved by so many people. And one thing to note, this show of support was just as strong as last year, just days after the shooting. Some gathered in Old Town Square for the Good Samaritan Johnny Hurley, who rushed in to kill the shooter. Others gathered at the Arvada Police Department to honor Officer Gordon Beasley. He was the officer ambushed by a man with the AR-15 who was targeting police. Arvada police say Beasley was unlike any other. He made the uniform, not the other way around.
I think in Gordon's case, the badge and the uniform had to take on Gordon's identity because he became such an amazing person and was never wrapped around, you know, the authoritative part of the job or anything like that. Hated writing tickets.
Last year, the Jefferson County DA declined to file charges against the officer who shot Hurley, saying the officer had no idea and no way of knowing who exactly Hurley was. While we've tried to speak to family members, we've spoken to a lot of friends of Johnny Hurley. However, this morning, we are expecting to hear from the Hurley family for the very first time.
Gosh, that was such a sad day, and it's hard to believe it's already been a year.
Yeah, a year later, but still so much hurt throughout that community and so many people still banding together to try to get through it.
Absolutely. All right, Darius, thank you.
The January 6th Commission continues to talk about Coloradans who tried to overturn the 2020 election results. On Tuesday, the committee focused on a Colorado attorney. Her name's Jenna Ellis. Some of the testimony focused on a meeting that Ellis and Rudy Giuliani had with Arizona lawmakers, claiming they had proof of voter fraud in Arizona when they did not.
I said, I want the names. Do you have the names? Yes. Do you have how they voted? We have all the information. I said, can you get to me that information? Did you bring it with you? She said, no. Both Mr. Giuliani asked her and I asked generally if they'd brought it with them. She said, no, it's not with me, but we can get it to you. And I said, then you didn't bring me the evidence.
Arizona House Speaker Rusty Bowers said that Giuliani told him, quote, "We've got a lot of theories, we just don't have any evidence." The next month, December 2020, Ellis went on a conservative talk radio show here in Colorado and claimed how, quote, Dominion may have swung some of the state and local races in Colorado. Dominion being Dominion voting systems, they made the voting machines, and her claim, just like the Arizona claim, she had no proof.
Lucky us. I say that sarcastically. We drew the 50th anniversary event.
This morning, members of the Rainbow family are already gathering in the Adams Park area of Route National Forest after the group chose it as its 50th anniversary gathering spot. The group describes their events as a celebration of nature and life, but with thousands expected, there are concerns about the condition of public lands. The U.S. Forest Service says it has a national incident management team on site protecting sensitive areas like streams and ponds. Forest Service law enforcement teams also patrol the area 24/7. So the Forest Service says about 1,000 members of the Rainbow family are there now, and they expect to see the biggest influx around July 4th. The Forest Service says nobody has applied for a permit because the Rainbow family claims that they are a group without leadership or representation, meaning no one person speaks for the rest of them.
Today, Douglas County commissioners are hosting a town hall to hear feedback on how what's the best way to handle homelessness. The meeting comes as commissioners consider buying pallet shelters as a solution. Pallet shelters are small spaces that come with heat, AC, and a place to sleep. Commissioners approved pursuing the purchase of 17 of them. The final vote for that will come at a future meeting. Right now, the county restricts camping on county-owned property, including parks and open space. Individual cities and towns have their own regulations.
We realize that there's no instant silver bullet to solve homelessness, but we think we can get pretty close to functional zero if we address this early.
There's no location yet for where those pallet shelters could go if the purchase is finalized. Castle Rock's mayor already wrote a letter to the commissioners last month saying they're opposed to a shelter site being there. Tonight's town hall starts at 5 o'clock.